Is it coming over? There it went. It went there. All right. Yeah, wait till we get a couple of people in here. I'm not gonna even open my mouth. Oh no, you're not. You got shitty timing if I've ever seen it. Okay, anyhow. I'm not gonna say much till I get a few more people in here. Right now it says I have 0 people in here, but I have a comment, so it can't be 0. Though I do know that my subscribers list just keeps going backwards again. Yep, they don't like it. And this is why it takes forever, because when you're being suppressed down and censored, because you might tell truth, and because people seem to be wounded by truth in today's society. I don't know. When truth hurts you and you can't figure out why you're being hurt by truth, there's nothing I can do to help you. Because truth only hurts liars. That's right. Sometimes truth's a hard pill to swallow, but it don't hurt you. The only people who get wounded by truth are liars. And they get mad because they get busted in their lie. That's right. And they don't want to hear truth because they're a liar. But speaking of liars, let's talk about Kim Reynolds. I wonder who that'd be, huh? That would be the governor of the state you're looking at. Yep. So last Friday, she decided, or maybe it was before Friday, but she said that last Friday restaurants were supposed to be opening back up in my area. That's right, half staff though, right? But they got permission to open back up at half staff. And so what happened? Oh, that place you see right there, they ran around and scared the bejeebus out of the restaurant owners so that they wouldn't reopen. That's right, that's what they done. Iowa Department of Health. Yeah, health, the World Health Organization being run by Goblin Gates. Yep. So they went around to all the restaurants as they were going to open and told the owners that they were guinea pigs. And by opening, they were being guinea pigs to scare the bejeebers out of them so they wouldn't reopen. So there's what opening looks like in the land of evil, where we practice something for many years before we do it. We tell people we're going to do it. That's right. We openly tell them it in their face. All the information's been out here for a long time. And then wham, here we are. And last year, 2019, we did that's right, the 201 event, which was a rehearsal for what's going on right now. A rehearsal. Okay, we're back down to 0 views. I like that. 1 comment, 0 views. Probably because I'm opening my mouth again. Yep. Oh, I like that from 0 to 8. Yep, that's the way it works out. That's called, there we are, but just the same. So I like that, man. The health department shows up, goes around, sends people out to go to all restaurants that we're going to be opening half staff in the state of Iowa and scare the shit out of them to keep them from opening. That's right. Not even at half the people in the restaurants are they allowed to open because the criminals who are behind this fraudulent thing that's going on in today's society, the lie that was rehearsed last year in 201 event, And it was Fauci advertised to you on video, literally told you right in your face in 2017 before Trump come in office that there was going to be an outbreak in Trump's administration. Fauci, that guy that's hooked to Bill Gates' hip? The guy that was George Herbert Walker's George Herbert Walker Bush's friend? That guy that's hooked to Mr. Gates' hip? That one world order puppet well, piece of crap. Anyhow. And then we go to 2013, we got a SRAP song where they told you about, Corona 19 in 2020. Corona 2020. We go back to 2012 and was a rehearsal, an arena of a pandemic with the image they're flying in your everybody's face of this invisible bug. Okay. Yeah, and then we can go back to 1981. It was wrote in a book. You were told about it in 1981. And Sylvia Brown told you about it again in 1994. It was wrote in documents. That's right. It was literally wrote in documents as well. How much do you need to understand this is completely fraudulent? Everything about it's fraudulent. And what I expected to see was places would start to open back up, just get to thinking they were normal, and then wham, we'd have a surge of something and they'd lock them back down. But we didn't have to worry about that. The minute Kim Reynolds said restaurants could open back up at half staff, well, our public health department made sure to send out people to all the restaurants to let them know that they were guinea pigs and that they were putting the public's health at risk by opening up because they were guinea pigs. Yep, scaring them back into closing. I mean, why not? The health department monitors all restaurants and closes restaurants down that ain't cleansly, but here we are, the very department that was part of 201, the very entity that's part of the lie that's going on in society right now. We couldn't let them places open back up without running around scaring the conjeebas out of the restaurant owners who are trying to save their business. Now they won't be able to save their business, will they? No, they sure won't, because they're not awake. They're not awake to what's really going on. They're believing the hogwash, the complete load of crap that's been handed to them. So this is the reason I wanted to come up and do a short rant. I wanted you to understand how deep this goes. So, when your area gets ready to open up and decides they're opening restaurants up and the health department runs around and scares the conjeebas out of the people, and then you're wondering why they ain't opening back up, well, then you'll know why they're not opening back up. Because the criminals the order followers are following the orders. That's right, all for the tool. That's going to be their demise. The tool will be your demise. You have to have money because they got you locked into the matrix, and that's going to be your demise. Watch and see. Take it to the bank. Things are going to get real ugly here real soon. And I know I got everybody quiet. That's right. Nobody's typing. Just one person typed. I'm up here unexpectedly. I know I caught you off guard, didn't I? It's not Saturday, huh? That's all right. I don't plan on staying up here. I just wanted to give a little rant to what I think about what's going on. See, I went to my local restaurant that's supposed to be open, and I was noticing the other ones wasn't either. It was like it was when they were still locked down. But I knew they were allowed to be open, so I'm going, why does it seem like these restaurants that are supposed to be open and have staff now, because they can have at least half the people coming in and people making appointments and maybe be able to salvage their business, why are they not open? Why is it only for carry out? So we went to one to find out and got some food, and we found out everybody in town decided to stay doing carry out because the health department made sure to come in and go to all restaurants and use scare tactics that they were going to be guinea pigs and they were going to get sick and give it to their families and their children. Yep, that's what they were told. They were going to get sick with the invisible bug and give it to their families and their children. See, they yanked on their emotional strings that they were going to give it to their children so that they could convince them to not reopen their business, even when they was given permission to reopen. So here's the underlined low life scumbag Iowa Health Department. We already know that the health department was involved in the 201 event. We already know that they know they're lying to the public. They're part of the cabal. They're part of the evil. They're part of the system. See, they want to use this to crash all of the businesses, to crash their currency, to usher in what they want in. And even when you think, okay, they'll give us a little bit of calm and then they'll bring it back. No, they ain't even going to give you a little bit of calm. They're afraid these restaurant owners might be able to survive this. They don't want them to survive this. So the governor climbs up on a platform and, who's also part of this, and says that the restaurant owners in these counties can now begin to open. And that was the health department's cue. Okay, these counties, go to these counties, go to all the restaurants in these counties, and scare the kajivas out of them so they don't reopen. You okay, boss? I'm a great order follower. Yep, I'm all bent over, boss. I got my lube out. That's what's really going on. So, now restaurants ain't reopening because the health department, who is part of the 201 exercise, has made sure to scare the kajivas out of the restaurant owners so that they don't reopen. And so this is the way it goes. But I wanted to let you know that no, they're supposed to be open at half staff in my community right now, and they're open at zero staff, huh? That's right. They're back to still being closed down. Trying to keep up with carryouts. Trying to cook for people who's willing to come and pick it up. Because no, we can't have them reopen. They might save their business. No, we don't want them saving their business. We planned this for many, many years. And we rehearsed this last year. This is supposed to be the end of restaurants and bars and clubs and pool halls and hair salons and on and on and on, right? They've got to go bankrupt. We got to have our economy completely crashed. So the governor, Kim Reynolds, says, yep, you can open them, have staff in these counties, and the health department says, like you, go scare the kajivas out of them so they don't reopen. And that's exactly what they done. And it really don't surprise me any that they pulled something like that. I really don't. You ain't even going to get the calm before the storm. It's about making sure they crash your society. So I don't know what state you're in, but if they done it here, they'll do it there. You can count on it. If they done it here, they're going to do it in your state too. Because after all, the health department, human services, were all involved. That they're all involved, I'm telling you. That's why the health department ran around making sure they're scared the kajivas out of the restaurants that were told they could open back up under half staff, half the amount of customers, so they could keep their social distancing from something that don't exist. But we won't have to worry about keeping your social conditioning, will we? Because they're not going to be reopening, at least in my location, and you can bet your ass they're not going to reopen in your location either. So, like Jeff Ashton, I don't know what state you're in there, Jeff, but when they get ready to reopen your restaurants, you'll probably have the health department go around and scare the kajivas out of them like they done here. And then your restaurants won't open back up. Those will be care out, and you'll be going, ain't they supposed to be open? I wonder why they're not opening up. Well, now you'll know why, right? Because of order followers. Because of people that don't use what's upstairs in their head. People that just follow the orders mindlessly for the tool, for money. While they're losing their businesses. By believing in the lie. What can I say? I can't change it any. There's a semi-load of evidence that concretely proves, without a reasonable doubt, that this was completely fraudulent. There is no excuse for your economy shutting down to begin with. All you got to do is wake up and start smelling the roses and looking around you, and you'll realize you're being lied to. And now here we are with frickin' Iowa Department of Health lying their cajevin tails off and using children to jerk on their emotional strings to keep the restaurant owners from reopening their businesses. That's some very, very low life, sneaky fucking bullshit going on there. Well, I guess, it goes against their agenda. Their agenda to crash your society completely, to make sure small business owners can never reopen again. So they went around and scared the kajivas out of them. It is. It's about getting rid of all small businesses, Jeff. That's exactly what it's about. So you're a restaurant owner and you're not allowed to reopen because some health department goon who's following his orders and willing to lie goes in there and lies their butt off and scares the kajivas out of the restaurant owner, makes them feel like they're a guinea pig that's going to get something that don't exist and take it home to their children. Oh, I would love to have been around when the healthcare workers there could make sure you put a stop to them. Had all the information while they were running their mouth and told them, don't listen to that person, they're a freaking liar. Don't listen to that lying weasel. Of course, they'd probably have the police down on me, right? To shut me up. Isn't that what they do when you tell the truth? They want to shut you up. Isn't that right, Google? Isn't that right, society? Nobody wants truth no more. You all want to be lied to. What would you do if I told you that they have cause for killing off 80% of the population in America by 2025? That's right, population reduction. What have I told you all along? Georgia Guidestones. Down to 500 million worldwide. So what if I was to tell you that they want to kill 80% of the American population off by 2025? I think that's a pretty big number, huh? So if you know what the full population of America is right now, you could do your math on that. Then you could figure out how many people will actually be left if they kill off 80% of the American people. Well, you ain't got to worry about that there, Jeff. There's going to be a lot of companies that won't even survive, and by the time they're done, said and done, I can see them killing off 3/4 of America people, that's for sure. I said there's some bad shit coming down the line, and a lot of people are about to be in deep shit if they don't start fighting back. If people don't stand up and fight back, then we're going to have lots and lots and lots and lots of deaths. And you're not going to be dying from the Wuhan wiggle neither. You're probably going to be dying of many different causes. Because after all, this will most likely be a silent war. They'll use their weather modification skills to make sure they turf off earthquakes, tornadoes. That's right, hurricanes. Then, of course, we have the big old 5/7, right? Mm-hmm. 5G. Energy weapons. That war zone that's surrounding you that looks dressed up like a nice cell phone tower? The nice white looking things or them things they're putting on your poles in your cities? And they're upgrading in all of your businesses? That's right. And then, of course, we got the aluminum being dropped on your head every day. And then we have them vaccination shots by Mr. Bill Gates. That's right. And Tony. That's right. Don't forget him. Don't leave him out. But of course, they're not going to be taking these shots. No. And neither are their children or their parents or their family members. No, they won't be required by law to take no shot. But you will be. You sure will. You're cattle. You're either sheep, cattle, or pork, pigs. You pick which animal you want to be, okay? Because we all cattle, we all animals on old McDonald's farm. You know who McDonald is? Well, his last name is Rothschild. And his grandpa Rockefeller. That's right. Rothschild has a brother named Gates, Bill Gates. Rockefeller has a brother named Tony Fauci. Yeah, that's their family members. It's sickening. It's very, very sickening. But you know what I wonder? Will anybody stand up? Will anybody start fighting back? I don't think anybody will. I think the majority of people are going to bend over and spread their cheeks. I don't think they're brave enough to stand up. Because after all, we don't live in the home of the free. That's an hallucination. Wake the hell up. Do I need to slap you awake before you can realize you're not free? And no, we're not in the home of the brave. You're so brave, you're going to bend over and spread your cheeks. That's what the majority of people are going to do. Making it impossible for us to stop these criminals. We haven't stopped them in this many decades. We've allowed them to repeat history over and over, and we haven't stopped them yet. So what makes me think you're going to try to stop them now? You're not. Yeah, there'll be a lot of deaths soon, too. I'd tell you to do the math on that. Don't mean they'll get their wants, but they're getting them right now. And if they get their wants on the United States of America, of Nazi Germany, that would be the actual real name for it, okay? Then you're going to realize that they want 80% of the American population dead by 2025. That means they're going to be getting busy in the next few years, ain't they? Why do you think you got Trump in office? You know that last name, Trump? He's here to trample all over your rights and trample all over your lives. And that's what he's going to do. And whatever he don't get completed, the next one will, but there may not be a next one. You may not get to see a next puppet in office. So that estimate is what? The top one or the low one?
That's what the current population is approximately, and that's what 80%.
Oh, wow. So that's a big numbers to it yet. 80% of the United States population gone, dead. So right now is, what is that? 330 million. 330,709,000. Yeah, 709,000. 330 million citizens in America. And after we reduce the population of America by 80%, we'll have 264,567,200 left.
That was approximate.
That's approximate. It's close. Oh, Jeff.
That's where I got the
Here, let me add you in a moment here, son.
Bill, that's where I got the estimate from.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me get him in here. There we are.
That's where I got the estimate, and it keeps going up. That's a live update. So I just I just rounded it up to 709,000.
Okay, Jeff. His audio's connected. Yes, connected. Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Bill. How's it going?
I'm alive yet.
Me too, my friend. Man, nobody's gonna believe any of this stuff until they see it happen.
Well,
If,
you know what? I
if
watched Governor Kim Reynolds, the female posse in my state. I watched her literally say that the counties and gave the list of counties that were low on the invisible ghosts that don't exist numbers, gave them permission to open up their restaurants half the amount of customers at a time can go in. But they got permission to open up the restaurants, right? So by their and so I'm running around. They're supposed to open this last Friday, and I'm running around looking, and it don't seem like condos. It seems like none of them are open. So we went to one today, and we found out. Of course, they're not open. Fucking Department of Iowa Health. The health department was part of 201 event. Part of the stage show last year when they were rehearsing what they're doing to us now.
Yep.
Well, there comes the health department walking into these restaurants before they could open and telling the owners that they were guinea pigs and that they were going to get the invisible bug and take it home to their children.
Well, here's the thing about these restaurants. The restaurant business is basically you need about 90-95% of your customers just to break even. These restaurants, their rent payments or their mortgage payments for the property is $2,000 to $3,000 a month. They got all that cooking equipment. They've got wait staff. They've
Oh, the
got
electric bill is higher than hell too. I mean,
yeah, they've got taxes. They got all kinds of stuff to open up a restaurant and say, okay, you can do 25% or 50% of capacity. They're going to be losing money. That's not going to. You can't run a restaurant like that. That's
well, I understand what you're saying, Jeff, but think about it this way. These restaurants right now in my local area, they've been leaving their doors unlocked and carry out only to try to
Mhm.
save their business, okay? Now, if
Yeah,
they could have half the employees or half the amount of customers in a restaurant and push the other half out the door and people calling and making orders, they might just squeeze by, might not, but at least they're fighting to try, right? But when you
yeah,
get the freaking Iowa Health Department going around right behind the governor's what the governor says, telling these restaurant owners in the counties that are allowed to open again that they're taking an awful grave chance and they're going to get the invisible bug and take it home to their children.
yeah. They're destroying these businesses. I mean, they've already got. I mean, every night the CBS and NBC evening news comes on, and they got all those stupid ass reporters. They'll show about 9 or 10 of them, and they all have their masks on.
Oh God, I know
They're
that's
sca-
the
they're
engineer
they're
you into
scaring
being
it.
stupid. We got to
They've
keep you stupid. You're not allowed to have critical thinking skills. How dare you think you're a human with critical thinking skills, Jeff?
they've already got people so scared that we're to the point now where it doesn't even matter if these businesses reopen. Half the population is not going to go because they're fucking terrified. They're terrified still.
Don't worry, they ain't gonna have to be terrified much longer because by 2025 they'll kill off half the people in America. 80% of them, anyhow, will be dead.
Yeah,
And
I
how'd
mean
they
this.
die? Well, you know what? From stupidity, because they don't want to look into anything. I understand they're scared, but if somebody who literally can show you what I can show you, and you can go back that far, and it can be concretely proven, even old Fauci right in your face in 2017, telling you, okay, documentation, fucking actual factual stuff that shows this is all a fraud. And oh, we don't want to know that. No, our leaders would never do nothing like that to us. Well, isn't that what they said about Hitler? He was a good old man, wasn't he? He was a good old boy. He was on their people's side. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, like I said, people are not going to believe this. If you were to tell people 6 months ago, yeah, 90% of the world is going to be locked in their homes. Nobody's going to be able to come out. Everybody's going to be wearing masks because they're too scared. All the businesses are going to be closed except the big corporate businesses. They're going to be
One
open.
lockdown at a time, Jeff. One
No,
lockdown at a time.
no, nobody would have believed it. If you were to say 6 months ago that they're going to lock down the world, there is not a person that would have thought that that was even possible. They would have laughed at you.
I
They would
wouldn't
have
care.
laughed and
You
laughed
know
and
what?
laughed.
I've had people laughing at me for years, and then they shit in their bricks. And now, well, now what I hear nowadays, outside of the new people that are, and I don't care what they call me because they wasn't around when I first come online. They have no idea how bad I got attacked. Okay, but now then people are like crickets. I don't hear them no more because the stuff I was telling them, the majority of it's happened, and they're seeing it actually happen when I was the nut job. Okay, so now what are they doing? Oh, I hear crickets. That's right. And you know what? I'm going to hear crickets out of this too, but this time I might even not even hear crickets. Will these frequencies kill crickets too?
Yeah, Bill. The other thing I think they're doing is I really think they're going to try to really punish the American people. They're going to try to cut off the food. They're already fucking with all these farmers. There's plenty of animals. There's plenty of meat. There's plenty of all this stuff, but they got all these government. agencies going in there and just shutting them all down with all their rules and regulations, just coming in there,
Well,
shutting
Jeff,
down
they
all
also
these producers.
they're creating the shortages. All you got to do is
Yeah, they're
get really real in Colorado. If they're telling you you cannot collect rainwater, Jeff, that's illegal. Okay, and then when you think about it, you had the Bush family going around buying up every bit of the water aquifers around America, taking complete ownership of all water aquifers. What is that? Oh, that's our clean drinking water. They bought it all up around the world to make sure they owned every water aquifer globally. Then they turn around and tell you, we're running out of waters, and they've signed this new bill. And you know what they're doing with this bill on the water? They're
oh
talking
my
about
god.
recyclable water because we're running out of water, so we got to use recycled water. So here's what you're going to do. They're taking the
Yeah.
sewage treatment plants and running the sewage water that has big farm in it, has your feces in it, has your urine in it, and they're running it through filters and piping it back to your house.
Oh my god. Yeah, this idea that we're running out of water about is about on the same level as the world's overpopulated. It's
It's
about the
sort of
same
like
thing.
it's completely sick. It's like, would you like a glass of lemonade there, Jeff? Don't worry,
Yeah.
we just manufactured it out of somebody's penis.
Yeah, in the South, we have a aquifer that that could probably supply the entire country with water just from this little aquifer in the South if they
Well, what they
and that's where the
don't
water
tell
comes from
you is
over here. But
the fresh water we get is replenished by the earth naturally. You don't run them dry. It's replenished. Just like the
yeah,
oil is naturally replenished. But they want to do away with all that too. They want to have everybody in electric cars. And they want to have you locked into your grids. You know, part of Agenda 21 is to divide the United States into three sectors, leaving the rest of the land completely empty and no humans allowed on it. Of course, except for themselves because they think they're gods.
yeah, Bill, it really makes me this capitalism thing. I mean I'm not some commie or socialist, but this capitalism really is a consuming force. I mean, these fuckers get a little power and then they just destroy the environment
Well, when you want
to
to talk
and
about
they just
political,
try to take
yeah,
over the world.
but when you
Bill
want to
Gates
talk,
is trying to take over the world.
I understand that, but see, when you talk about political systems, I don't care which one it is. They're all owned and controlled by this very same freaking people, and their goal is to own the entire planet. That's always been their goal, and they do it long term. Long term, I mean long term, and they don't have a problem long term because your biggest elitists are bankers, and they own the monetary systems, so they can make it go as long as they want because they just groomed their child. If you were groomed from the time you were a child, you realize that you are going to own the wealth of an entire nation. What would you give that up? No. You're just going to follow along with whatever's said to your family teaches you so you can keep the wealth in your family. You own the monetary systems of nations. You own and
Yeah, these
control everything.
yeah these people are really pathological.
They're psychopaths.
They really are. They're not. I think it's really hard for us to even comprehend the way they think because it's so foreign to us. I mean, we just want to have a nice quiet life. We want to have a wife and a family.
Oh, you mean you
We
want to
just
be? You mean you? What you're telling me, Jeff, is you want to be left alone?
yeah, we just want to have our own little property and our wife and our family. And we just want to be left alone.
Right.
But we got these fuckers that are saying to themselves, we want to be the masters of the universe. We
Oh
want to
yeah,
control
well,
everybody, and everybody's going to be our slaves, and we're going to take their water. We're going to own the water. We're going to
well,
own all the
we get to
food.
do more than that, Jeff, because the reality is all the documentation's there. They own everything. Everything, including everything you own. It's not yours.
Yeah, I
You know,
know.
you know that money you worked for. Well, that
I
money you
know.
worked for, you're not allowed to own that money. It belongs to them. You're only allowed to borrow it in return for your labor. And the only portion of that money you're allowed to spend that you worked your butt off for is the perishables. That's the only thing they don't want back is perishables, which is your food, water, and drinks. The rest of anything else you buy out of that borrowed money that's not yours, by default, your car belongs to them. Your house belongs to them. Your furniture belongs to them. The clothes on your back belongs to them. And guess what else belongs to them? You do. That's why your
Yeah,
birth. That's why your birth certificate number can be found on the stock market.
yeah. One thing about home ownership is, I mean, they they tax the hell out of you when you purchase the house, a, a thousand different ways. Then they hook you up to the bankers, and they make you pay 3 or 4 times the price of the house because of interest. Then after the house is paid off, they tax your ass on it. Then they hook up a smart meter to your electricity, and they tax you on the electricity, and that's probably something that's going to be going up in price real soon. Then they hook up the water and the sewer, and they tax you on all that. They don't want you to have a well. They don't want you to have a septic tank. They don't want you to have solar power. They want you hooked up to their grid, and then they can shut your shit off anytime they want, tax the hell out of you however they
Well,
want.
that is the idea, Jeff. You're hooked up to their grid controlled by them. They shut you off whenever they want. You know, just think, man, we got a great life ahead of you, don't you? You get to look forward to having nothing. Oh, that's right. You get to look forward to possibly dying because nobody wants to stand up for themselves. Everybody wants to pretend they're brave because they have a keyboard in front of them and they can hide.
Yeah, it's getting really scary. It's getting really scary because these property taxes they can raise those. They can raise those at any time. They can raise those electric taxes at any time. They
Well,
can raise your water taxes at any time.
in the end, you won't have to worry about property taxes because you won't be allowed to own. You ain't allowed to own now. You're gonna say, "Yes, I am. I can go buy a house." No, you're not. Since when do you buy something and own it and continue to pay some entity that had nothing to do with the taxes on it? And then if you don't pay that entity that never had nothing to do with the purchase, they get by law get to come in and take your property from you and sell it to somebody else. Okay, so no, you don't own nothing. If you
Yeah,
actually
and
owned it, that wouldn't be happening.
I really think, Bill, what's coming next is they're really gonna put the hurt on us because when when they get us starving and they get people becoming homeless, the people are gonna accept whatever they draw up as the solution. I really think the hurt is coming. It's already started.
Well,
They're
solution
gonna
is
put the
simple.
hurt on us.
Yep, the solution is very simple. They made up lie after lie after lie, like saying the fuels that we're using is fossil fuels. And when it's not fossil fuels at all, petroleum oil is not a fossil fuel. That's another complete lie they told you, okay? They tell you we got global warming because they're engineering it. Okay? And another complete lie, okay? They tell you about all the overpopulation. Another complete lie. They tell you we're running out of water. Another lie. They tell you we're running out of food when they're shutting farmers down and controlling what's grown and creating the food shortage. And now, conveniently, right after Trump calls a state of emergency, the supply chain line all suddenly gets cut down, and they're going to do that in baby steps right in your face. Have you go into your store and noticing empty shelves still when there ain't no hoarding going on? Yes, you are. And it's not because of hoarding, it's because they're not shipping full orders to the stores.
Bill, you know who I think is really smart and is probably doing really well during this crisis? The the Amish people. I'm
Well,
thinking
not for
that
long,
the
though. Not for
Yeah,
long.
they're probably going to go after these Amish because these Amish are completely unaffected
Well, I'll
unless
tell
they
you
start.
something else you want to look out for. I seen this today, and I know this to be fact, okay? Trump's up there in a speech, and he's talking about he's standing by the natives. Okay, so what he's talking about is he's standing by the Indians. You want to know how they're standing by the Indians? By
Oh wow!
bringing the military in and kicking them off their land.
Oh wow!
No lie. That's actually really going on.
So these poor Indians used to be free. We came over here, kicked them off their land, forced them to go to reservations, and and now that's not good enough. We're going to kick them off the reservation too.
Well,
Jesus Christ!
we come over here, we stilled their land and slaughtered them. We made them have reservations that we said we'll never, ever, ever take this land that belongs to you, right? Let them have their
Uh,
own communities, okay? And we celebrate it every year on Thanksgiving, celebrate and slaughter the Indians, okay? And thank gosh we killed the Indians Day, okay? And now what are we doing? We're booting them off the very land we gave them.
and look what, and also Bill, look what we did to the Indians. We killed their food supply. We
Yeah,
sent people out there to kill all the buffalo, kill their food supply, and punish them. And guess what? Now they're going to kill our food supply and punish us because that's what they do when they want us to accept what's coming next.
well,
They cut off the
I'm
food.
waiting. I think our next food that we'll probably have when this is over and done. Are you ready? Are you ready? There's a commercial about it. It's bacon. That's normally called a dog food is bacon. Oh, we'll probably have some kibbles and bits. Maybe you can have some Purina cat chow.
Oh wow!
I wouldn't put it past these people to, I think what they're going to do is they're going to slowly decrease the food supply line in little baby steps. And pretty soon you're going to go in the store and most of your shelves are going to be empty. And that's all we got this week, guys. And if you paid attention earlier, I did that video earlier with Corey Man X, okay, where he showed that military vehicle, okay, and in these protests, this is why I said this to people earlier. You got to look. You have to have permission to protest. After the lockdown happened, before they opened anything up or even attempted to, everything was closed. Courthouses, lawyers' offices, okay? Everything was down. You couldn't go apply for permits until they reopened, right? And so here we have all these protests kicking off all over the place, okay? Yeah, government sponsored protests that were set up in January, February, where they locked you down. And they didn't have to apply for permit because they're the government. They give themselves permission. Meanwhile, these people are running over to these protests that are scheduled. Yeah, well, because they knew you would. They knew you'd be angry. They knew you were going to go. And you did. Okay? And then they're getting stupid, man. We're going to do open carry, man. I'm going to show up a Second Amendment. Man, you talk about getting dumb.
Wow! Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm not against firearms, but I'm against walking into a freaking trap. And you open carry
Yeah,
people that are going to these protests, you're walking into a trap. And I showed you an example of it today.
yeah. I saw the.
That's the reason I posted that video.
Yeah, I saw that truck you posted, Bill. I also saw another video by some guy named Boston something, where there was a whole row of those same vehicles coming into some small town. I think in maybe Arizona or somewhere. They had about 50 of those things come in. That same vehicle you showed.
Yeah.
And, yeah, how'd you like to go to a protest and see one of those fuckers show up about 20 feet
Well,
up in the air
what
with a
worries
machine gun?
what worries me is the fact of what they've done throughout history with protests. You better look out because there's actually a protest overseas where they've done this. And don't think because they've done it overseas they won't do it here. You just have to lunge in your head if you think that. where they actually had freaking military brought in, and these people came dressed like guerrillas, and they went in there and they started shooting innocent protesters, and over 1,500 people died.
Yeah, I mean, this stuff happens all over the world all the time, but all of us Americans, we think this can't happen here.
I know they got this illusion going on in their head, this little mirage rolling around their head that ain't even true. And they think when it happened to me, man, they're gonna go out there with their damn like old Corey running out there with his M16 on his shoulder and his 30-round mag clip, Got 30 rounds in this clip, yep. And then they're gonna get
Yeah,
some provocateur and there's an agent that's gonna come in there and just open fire on something and they're gonna draw their guns and the next thing you know, wham, wham, wham. And people are laying on the
and
ground
and
dead.
and, and I'll tell you, Bill. I mean, as the nation, we kind of deserve it because nobody cared whenever we went over to Iraq and killed 1 million people and destroyed their country.
No,
No,
that's it.
nobody
That's exactly it.
no, nobody cared. Nobody over here cared. That'll never happen to me. That doesn't affect me. That's just some lesser people. That's just some slave scum people. That's not going to happen to me.
Well, but there you go, Jeff. There you go, right there, making categories. People, and it's not you. It's the reality is people been placing each other in categories for a long time. Jeff, you might be a geek, or you might be a nerd, or you're a retard, or you're a sped, or you're just a loser. We know all the names. We watched it frickin' over and over for a long time, your whole life, haven't you? As we
Yeah,
label people in seconds, we label people and put ourselves above them. And we walk around with our head all high thinking we're above somebody else when you ain't above nobody.
yeah,
It's called division.
yeah. I kind of feel like it's about to come home to roost.
It is.
I kind of believe in this in this karma stuff. I mean, you get all these asshole Americans. None of them gave a shit about killing 1 million people in Iraq. None of them gave a shit. They fucking cheered for it. Nobody ever said they showed the U.S. soldiers that died on the evening news. I guess about 3,000 Americans died or 5,000 died total. They showed their pictures on the news, but nobody gave a damn about just those 1 million people. I mean, just so many more people.
No. Well, and
Those,
here's, and I said this a while back because this really happened since I've been up here doing my thing. We had a 1 million man march on Washington. 1 million people protesting on Washington, right on the Capitol. What happened? Oh, that's right. Nobody around the United States knew anything about it. Oh, that's right, because there was a complete blackout on all media. They were told not to report on it. And the only reason we found it out was because people went there and filmed it themselves and brought it back and posted it up online. Or we wouldn't have known a thing about it because the media blacked it out. So what good do you think these protests are doing you? These protests ain't changing a thing. The only thing it is going to do for you is maybe get you dead. Maybe you get lucky and get locked up and get a big old fine you can't afford to pay. But you're not going to change nothing. If we want to change something, it's not going to be through protest. It's going to be through standing down in massive numbers worldwide. Just the United States, if everybody stood down and didn't listen to their orders no more, if you got 90% of Americans stand down and not apply to the orders no more, these people would be powerless. But we're not going to get that done now, are we? Because they would rather be scared shitless and follow the orders. Why do you think they use fear? Because when people are scared, they become complicit. You still there, Jeff? I may have lost Jeff. No, I didn't. What you doing over there, Jeff?
oh, sorry, I just needed myself for a moment. I'm back. But yeah, this is really bad. But I mean, this wouldn't be possible if they didn't already destroy the society. they've already got the men and women divided. They got the blacks and whites divided to begin with. People don't talk to each other. People don't know their neighbors. People don't really take a part in molding their societies. We're just all followers. We follow what we see on the TV. Um,
There you
the
go.
the society is already destroyed. This wouldn't be possible in a free society if everybody wasn't brainwashed. I mean, this it's so obvious that this coronavirus is not a serious disease. Nobody's dying from this thing that's not 80 years old.
Oh,
There's fewer people that have died from this than die from the flu every year.
oh, I know. You know it, and I know it.
I mean, to have people to have people in their prime, 30 years old, perfectly healthy, shitting their pants, wearing masks over the flu or something not even as serious. But man, this is bad. This is really bad, and they're gonna cut off our food supply over this.
Well, I'll tell you what. If people really want to get if people want to get an eye opener, go to you stopthecrimes.net. You
Yeah,
know, a lot of this research I've done over the years is backable, okay? And I've read lots of
mhm.
documents over the years, and this particular gal, she's right on spot, and she's backing it with all the freaking military documents and government doctor documents and elite documents. And they've always said they were going to tell us everything they were going to do. They bragged that they would tell us everything they're going to do, and we would do nothing about it. And they have literally been telling us and showing us it for years, and nobody paid attention. So maybe people should get their heads out of their you know what and go to stopthecrimes.net.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing about that lady that really scares me that she's probably right about is all these forest fires they're always having on the west coast where all these
Yeah,
people's houses get up burned down.
they did that deliberately. That was deliberate.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, and I'm really scared they're gonna bust open some dams here pretty soon, or
I see.
they're
Well,
gonna.
that's always been in the plans. Okay, I mean the Hoover Dam was one of the dams that's in plan. There's several dams in plan. Okay, they're going to use what you call silent wars. They're going to break open a few dams, make it look like something happened. They're going to break open some levees. They're going to cause some earthquakes. Oh, yes, we can. We can make earthquakes. We can make earthquakes. We can create tornadoes. We can stop tornadoes. We can create hurricanes. That's right. We can steer them where we want them, just like we did to Texas a few years ago, just like we did to Louisiana. Hurricane Katrina, that was made by the military industrial complex and steered right into it, just like it did Texas. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
gonna you're gonna see lots of different things happening, and they're gonna blame it on Mother Nature when it was them doing it the entire time.
one thing I would look at New Orleans. All those people were living in that city in that big bowl. There's nothing but a levee protecting them from being flooded 20 feet. If you live, I would really consider if you live down from the Hoover Dam, or you live on a big ass fault line, or you live next to some forest in California. You got people better wake up. Is it, every place does not have the same safety.
Well,
Um,
the thing is this is not going to just be California. This is going to be United States wide. It was my governor that come up, Kim Reynolds, and made the statement and was putting together a website for first responders. And I can
mhm.
think of lots of first responders that'll probably join this website because after all, they're not working. Well, why ain't they working? Well, because we're in the middle of a pandemic. When you're in a pandemic that hospitals are slow and clinics are slow. Why would they be busy in the middle of a pandemic? Come on, you all know it's natural for them to be slower than they've ever been slow before, right? And I
Oh
don't
my
know how
God.
you get
Well,
around that. All you got to do is go visit your local medical freaking hospital, or in America, go visit them, man. Check out your clinics. Even in the cities that say they have major amounts of numbers. Go check it out, man. They're deader than hell, man. They're letting go of medical workers. They're letting go of first responders because they have no work for them. And now they're encouraging them to go on this website here in Iowa and get signed up and be part of it because in case a major disaster should take place, we'll have you here ready to go. Ain't no in case a major disaster takes place. They're planning one.
yeah, I think the pain's coming, Bill. I really do. I think they're going to put the hurt on us, so
They
we'll
are.
accept anything they want, and the
Well,
people will accept it. When the food runs out, people are going to accept anything.
oh, you know it. In a sense, we are the terrorists. I know I pissed SBO off with it, didn't I? He was so mad at me when I said our military are the terrorists. Because we are.
Oh,
We are
poor,
Nazi America, I mean Germany, yeah.
poor SBO. See, SBO, he's got family members and friends that are military and law enforcement, so he's all
Well, yeah, he's got patsies, okay, so he's got some more suckers in his family.
yeah. But there is a lot of ex-military people that
They're
that
waking
they
up,
do
yes.
agree with you. They do agree with you, Bill.
I've seen quite a few military people that actually agree because they were there, they've seen and witnessed with their own eyes, and they know. Okay. But unfortunately, for people that ain't been in and people that just believe everything their television set feeds them, I mean, I'm sorry, man. There's going to be a lot of people dying from ignorance. I don't know what else to say, man. They're going to die from ignorance. They're going to die from being too dumb to be alive because they wasn't smart enough to go look. If I was yelling the building's on fire, had Jeff, and you was on the 50th floor, and you had time to get down from the 50th floor and get out of the building before dying, and you told me I was a tinfoil wearing hat nut job, and I left the building, and then I see you hanging out a window, fucking 45 minutes later on the 50th floor, help, help, and I'm going like, no, you're dying from stupidity, idiot.
Yeah, and
Who's the
I'll tell you,
tinfoil wearing nut
Bill.
job now? Sure ain't me.
I'll tell you, Bill. September 11th was quite a long time ago. There's a whole generation of people now that have completely forgotten about that
Yeah.
whole thing and just have no clue that they'll pull that shit on us.
Well,
They don't
people,
mind killing 3 5,000 people. They don't mind.
they don't care. That 3 4 thousand ain't nothing, man. When they'll kill millions of us, and they won't even think twice. It won't bother them at all.
If they want to set up a war, they'll do it. If they want to curtail the liberties, they'll kill 5,000. It's worth it for them. It's not them. That's the thing. These people are sick. These people are they're not they're not the type of people that we're used to being around.
Well, part of it is what I've always said: money, the root of all evil. People sell out for anything because what they do, they got us all so adjusted to competing against each other, and then they made being successful as the person who made more than somebody else. Okay, they've done a great job of it. Keep us competing against each other. Tell you successful is making more than somebody else, and you get to let your head swell up and your ego run wild. You get to act like a complete nut job because you are. Okay, because you are. That's right. And then when it's all said and done, you bought your way to your own death. Well,
yeah,
congratulations. You paid these people to kill you.
yeah, Bill. I've got a friend. He used to work at this big oil company in a Texas, and they would always go to these events, and you would have all these different tables, and at like one table there'd be like billionaires, and another table there'd be the millionaires, and another table there'd be like the lesser millionaires. And what he said was that there'd be tables of literally millionaires, and they all felt like the biggest losers
Yeah,
and they
because
felt bad about
they were sitting in a
themselves.
restaurant with billionaires and shit, right?
Yeah, like he said that those people, they just bowed down to the billionaires, and they just like wish that like they could be billionaires, and they just felt like crap uh, about themselves. But these are not just like millionaires. These people have multiple millions of dollars, Bill, but
Yeah.
yet they still feel less than human. They still feel
Well,
like
you
complete
know,
losers.
that's because these people have allowed money to dictate their life.
Yeah, that-
They're actually at fault for their own demise because they never even thought once in their whole life that their attitude over money was completely insane.
and then he was telling me the like billionaire owner of the oil company, he'd he'd roll in about once a year, and like everybody in the company had like their own story about how the billionaire said a word to them in the elevator, or something like this. There was this one lady, he said the billionaire got in the elevator with her, and spoke a word to her, and he said, if you looked at this lady, it's like she had an orgasm right there on the spot when
I'll bet, yeah.
because
Oh, yeah, yeah,
she stepped
yeah.
in the elevator with the billionaire.
All
I mean,
right. I'm alone with a
that's the
billionaire. I love your money. I mean, I love you. And what she meant to say was, I love your money. Oh, I mean, I love you. Yep.
but Bill, that's the way these people think.
I know their brains are warped, man. Their brains were like made of plastic and was left out in the sun too long. They're all warped out, man. You know. I see my one commenter here, last comment that was wrote anyhow, was talking about wearing the mask. He goes outside, well, he goes to jail, you know. And I'm like, well, I know my ex called me the other day out of Colorado, and she said she can't go anywhere without her mask, can't go in a store, anything. So she can't breathe the damn thing on, so she's not wearing one. So she's gonna have somebody else go to the store for her because she can't go, or she'll be calling the store and having it delivered to her house because she can't go. And I'm like, well, you know, if I was you, I'd take about 10,000 people and walk into King Supers, I told her, with no mask on. What are you going to kick out 10,000 people at once? Good luck on that one.
Yeah, that's the thing. People, I wish people had a collective dissonance against this crap, but man, Bill, from what I can see, people are just
No, they probably learned the
going
same.
along with it.
They're probably learning the same place SPL learned his history from. The TV set.
Yeah,
That's the way Hallmark here is in town. You have to, you could shop by
yeah. I
apartment,
don't know what's
and you
gonna
have to wear a
happen, but
mask in order to shop.
I really feel like we're about to
By
see
appointment first, and then
some
you
more
go in and wear
protesting.
a mask.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Hallmark here in town, Brian just tells me you have to make an appointment to shop there, and you have to have a mask on to shop there on top of it. I like to put
Okay, we're gonna.
when Walmart makes it mandatory for everybody to wear a mask, man. I want to get myself a welder's mask. I'll fix their ass. I'll put on that welder's mask covering my whole face. I'll say, there you go, and I'll put on a pair of shades on top of that. Maybe I'll even just take a little couple of lights, run my battery on it right up the fucking lenses for my eyes, even though it's that dark. Might help me to see out, but it'll definitely make them cancel. They're trying to set their software to read my eye retinas. What do you mean you can't read them? You mean I'm not readable? Oh, oops, must be your bad. Sure ain't mine.
Maybe I'll go order a Bill Gates mask, Halloween mask, and just wear it in
Oh, there you
there.
go, man. If you can get the Halloween, I want everybody to get themselves a Kiva Ralph fucking mask, Tony Faucher there. Or we can get freaking Bill Gates mask, and we can wear them around, but don't wear them too far, you'll probably get shot.
You might want to watch yourself when you wear them.
I like the way that money graph guy calls Blinky Burks.
Yep,
Blinky
Blinky.
Burks.
That's Blinky. You have Blakely, and you have the Kiva Ralph or Fauci. Yep, that's right.
And Goblin Gates.
And Goblin Gates, that's right. Got him with horns on his head now, even.
I'll tell you what, this Bill Gates, man, this fucking guy, man, I'm starting to think he might be the Antichrist.
I got
This fucking Gates, man, this guy.
I gotta work.
What the
Well,
fuck is going on with this Gates guy, man? This is. I heard about how he went over to India and killed all those people with those fucking vaccines.
oh yes,
People in
yes.
fucking India hate that motherfucker.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we got him on CNN. He's saying this isn't going to be over until everybody's vaccinated.
Oh, our governor's
What?
no, and that's been coming out of the governor's mouth too. My governor, the governor in Idaho, governor, I guess, in Colorado, or not Colorado, in California. A few of the governors have already said this thing's not over until we have a vaccination.
Jesus Christ, this is
Uh,
getting scary.
And then I seen an interview with old fucking Mr. Gates, and it ain't even that old. It's only like maybe a month old, and he says, well, this ain't gonna be over until we get the shots out there, and that's a year to 2 years off yet.
The final solution.
That the final solution. The final solution was the shot. And he said, they got the shot sitting there ready, but this has been forecasted to go on to the spring of 22.
Bill, what do you think of Mark of the Beast? These
I don't buy.
Christians
I
that
don't
talk
buy. I don't buy
about
into
Mark
it.
of the Beast.
Nope, I don't buy into it. Okay, I believe there is evil, and we're gonna blah blah blah, but no, that's just all pure porn.
I'm wondering if these elites aren't fucking with these Christians because they actually named one of those vaccines 666. They put it in the title one of those
Oh
vaccines.
yeah, the zero six
I think
zero
they're
six zero
I think they're
six. Yeah,
fucking with
no.
I think they're fucking with those Christians, man. I think they're having a good laugh.
Oh, they are. They are. I mean, I'm sorry. I ain't got nothing against people having faith and believing in a creator, but to believe that we would actually kill our own creator's child and we wouldn't change our creator's words. What are you out to lunch in your head? If you're going to kill your very own creator's child, you sure would change the creator's words. It's just people don't want to hear the truth because, no, that couldn't be. They would never lie to me my whole life. Yeah, they would.
I'll tell you though, Bill. I do believe in evil. I do believe in evil.
Well, there is evil. There's
I
no doubt
I,
about it.
I
Okay,
think
there's still
I
good. There is good and there is evil. Okay, right now we are being controlled by evil, and the only reason evil is winning because the good people, well, they got this yellow streak that was painted down the back of their back down to the crack of their what, and they're sitting there shaking and shivering, and they're not willing to get up and try to fight back because they just know they might get hurt. Well, don't worry, you're going to get a lot more hurt if you don't fight back.
yeah.
It's sad. I mean, it's really sad seeing what I'm watching going on, but I'm telling you, I've been looking at this stuff for years, and a lot of this stuff that this gal's talking about off that channel, okay, I already knew about it. She's not lying to you. It's all research I had already run into and checked into. And she's not lying. That's the thing. She's actually telling you the truth. She's telling you to it. She's showing you it. And it is real. It's not no illusion. The only illusion is the person that turns their back to it. They're living in a mirage. They're living in a bubble. They don't got time to become real. Or it's too scary for them. I mean, it is scary though, isn't it, Jeff?
Yes, it's very scary. It's a little more real to her because she's over there on the West Coast where she's been seeing these forest fires for the past 20 years. She's been seeing tent cities. She's been seeing Skid Row. I mean, California is a different world. I mean, California is probably what's coming to the rest of us soon.
Oh, it is. It is. You're going to be,
Huge homeless population. There was a huge homeless population in California. I lived in San Diego about 30 years ago. I lived in San Diego, And there was a huge homeless population then, 30 years ago. I can only
Yeah,
imagine what it's like now. I mean, there was bums all over the street 30 years ago in
yeah,
San Diego, California. Man, I
isn't it?
bet there's 100 times as many now.
Oh,
Well, I
easy.
guess there is. They got entire streets of tents, entire neighborhoods of just tents. People just living in tents.
They do.
And I'll tell you what, if coronavirus was real, man, all these ghettos and all these tent cities, they would all have it already. Every last one of them would already have it if this thing was real.
Oh, you know it. You know they would. Okay. How? Don't give them too many ideas. They'll make the homeless disappear and say, "Look, you all died off with the invisible bug." And meanwhile, they'll all be in fucking nice little FEMA camps.
The only Bill, the only people getting coronavirus there's are fucking celebrities that live a mile away from their neighbors.
Well, yeah, that's how that works, right?
The only people getting coronavirus are fucking celebrities.
Now, don't worry. You can go right down to your hospital. And you can check yourself into the hospital, and you'll find out that, wow, how come there's hardly any staff here? Wow, man, you guys are so slow. Yeah, we're slow in the middle of this pandemic. You are? Well, where's the busy one? Well, there wouldn't be business during an outbreak like this. Everybody's staying home so they don't get it.
This whole thing has been a big spectacle. Even China, look how populated China is, and they only had a big outbreak in one city, supposedly.
Well, the only reason we're blaming China is because you got the official lie.
Yeah,
It's not like 9/11. You've been given the official lie.
this whole thing. This is Bill. This is unbelievable. This is really unbelievable.
It is.
We are living through historic times.
Well, you'll probably die in the middle of these historic events too. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that might be the case. But fuck it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. There's not really anything we can do about it as individuals. I mean, we can point out, we can tell people, but unfortunately, nobody's going to listen. These people are
No,
not going to listen.
they're not going to listen. You're right about that, Jeff. Well, I don't like to cut you, but old Mother Nature's calling me, so I'm going to jump off the live stream, guys. And I'll be back up here Saturday. But I had to do this little rant just because Iowa Public Health had to make sure and go around and scare the bejeebus out of the restaurant owners who are trying to save their business. Sort of pissed me off to see that shit happen.
Yep. Hang in there, Bill. Good
I
talking to you.
will. Yep, you take care, and we're out of here, guys. You have a good one.